We first met at Deepika's brother's engagement party. For the record, Dip was not trying to set us up, but he was kind of cocky. I couldn't really understand most of what he was saying. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
They both knew we were going to a rush for a residency, so they placed us at the same table. But I knew right then that she'd be my wife one day.
So I didn't really like him. He was emailing me about places to live, and I told him where I was going to be moving in, and conveniently, he moves into the apartment building right next door. I don't think this is a coincidence. There's a lot, to be honest, so I think it's hard to pick one most annoying quality. Sometimes he harasses me. He likes to treat me like I'm his toy, so he'll try to fling me around, constantly pet my hair, rub my shoulders, and drive me nuts. That would be one. 2 would be snoring. 3 would be that he can't articulate his words. 4 would be this really ugly brown vomit colored plaid shirt that he insists on wearing all the time. And 5 would be his love for his black futon.
One of the more annoying things about Sindhura is the fact that she smacks. I think it's because she's so tiny and she has her esophagus maybe very close to the surface or something. But anytime she drinks something, I can hear it. Every time she eats something, it's very loud.
He is a really weird person, Pratik, and I think people at work and in his life really like him, think he's like really normal. He's one of those like all-American guys that everybody likes. He doesn't like have any enemies. But I don't think anyone really knows him, and that's why they like him so much, because he's an incredibly weird person. One thing nobody knows about Pratik is he picks his nose all the time. I think his favorite thing about me, personality-wise, is that he thinks I have a good sense of humor. He does.
Sindhura was a big commitment phobe. She didn't want to commit at all.
Basically, he's a male, and so when he first moved to Chicago, he wasn't sure if he wanted to settle down yet. So I told him that's fine, and then he came running back.
When was the first time he said I love you then? Do you remember the date?
I don't remember the date.
It was in November?
First time I told Sindhura I love you? I don't even know. I don't know. I have no idea. Unfortunately. Sometime, yeah, I have no clue.
What was your first kiss with Pratik?
We never kissed. Well, the reason I haven't kissed him is because I'm a traditional Belga girl.
So Sindhu never said you guys have never kissed.
Ever? Oh yeah, we're waiting for marriage, sorry.
He proposed on January 7th, 2010. And I think it was January 7th. I have to look back and see. But it was a Friday. It was either the 7th or 8th.
I proposed to Sindhura on January 8th, 2010. January 8th or 9th, I don't know. January 9th. That's going to be a disaster right there. I think when you know, you know. I don't know if it's just one particular time or something that happened. I think it's just when you know, you know.
Why Pratik? I mean, why not Pratik?
Nice.
You should have him. When we have kids, you know, there's certain aspects of both our personalities that I hope they have. I hope they're, you know, laid back like Pratik, but I hope they're not as laid back as him, so have a little bit of my more OCD tendencies as well. I hope they're smart like him. I hope they like to read and learn like him. I hope they're funny and charming and good looking and awesome like me.
My role model for marriage, I mean, I guess which is actually kind of peculiar, but I think it's our parents. Because even though they were all arranged marriages, they've made it work. They've made it work through like 40, 50 years. Even though they barely knew each other before they got married. It kind of speaks to the fact that you can somehow learn to love people too.
There's just different things from different people's marriages that I would like to model. My mom loves me and my brother so much, and she would do anything for us, and I hope to be a mom like that. Indian parents, they don't really ever give you details. Whenever you want them to say a lot, they always say just one word. When you don't want them to say a lot and give their opinion is when they give their opinion about everything under the sun. So.
And what was the first thought when you saw him? Finally, you met him. Sindhu's been talking about him. It's the first thought that popped in your head.
That she made a good decision. You're happy.
Before talking?
She's lying. She said he needs to have some coaching in dressing, dress up.
Right? In
And then that's all right. The most trouble Pratik will have with Sindhu is her emotions. She's very emotional, and she's sometimes
sensitive.
Very sensitive, and she gets very tearful. So that's probably the most difficult part he will have.
When was the last time you saw Sindhu cry? What was the story?
Because she cries so frequently, so it's hard to know when she cried last time.
She's like, whenever we go out or at home, and I think still she falls and she trips and she gets hurt. So we worry about her.
And at times you feel like we never thought he was going to be able to make it. First of all, I thought this kid, he's a problem. But what am I going to do? He's always had trouble. I can't no walk. Whenever it's time to go to school, he'll say, I can't no walk. What happened? I just can't no walk. And then he'll be fine an hour later. But he has his side. He had done a bunch of school plays. He had played some parts that, we didn't even know he did it. Like he was a joker at one time. Wasn't a joker or a gay man or something, wasn't he? Just like that. He called me one time, he says, something wrong with the Lopez car, and I said, what's wrong? He said, he doesn't run anymore. He was in the middle of the road somewhere, and I said, well, look at the fuel gauge, and he said, it's an E. I said, well, that's why he doesn't run, because you gotta have gas in the car, otherwise he won't run.
To give Sindhura what she wants would be my best advice to Pratik. So, hold on, before you do this, who else is going to see this?
What about cussing? Pratik, I think of Chick-fil-A with cheese, and with Sindhura, I think of just niceness. She's like the nicest person.
Yeah, well, I find them to be annoyingly perfect, which is what I think of, is annoyingly perfect, with their adorable little lives and how cute they both are, and they're both Indian doctors because they're so perfect. So that's what I think of. But I love them, even though they're perfect, and I'm married Whitey here, and neither of us is a doctor, so there you go. I remember the kid that my parents used to put in tutoring of all kinds to get him to learn to read. I could already read. And the kid who used to jump off the bed and pretend that his ankle was broken, he would walk out of the bedroom saying, I can't no walk, so he didn't have to go to school. So he couldn't read and he couldn't speak English, and now he's a doctor marrying an amazing woman. So I think of that.
What would you think if I sang?
I think that, especially since coming to Chicago and being here and things like that, I find that Pratik is much calmer and just, much more of a laid-back, mellow person. I didn't know that was possible. He's pretty laid back as it is and kind of rolls with the punches, but he just finds this a peace with himself around Sindhu and things like that. Sindhu, what you should know is that Pratik has his territory, he'll defend you, and he'll take care of you with that temper. Not Hulk-like though, just make sure he doesn't get into a fight. You're carrying him home then.
Give in, Pratik.
Yeah, I always listen to Sindhura, but I think he learned that one already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's already
just remember that you're working to something better. So all the small, meaningless garbage fights don't really matter in the end.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So what's the first thing you think of when you think of Sindhu and Pratik?
Two very strong-willed people that have came together and have made things work and have progressed into a very productive and happy relationship.
I don't really think of anything.
It's awful.
Think of how Pratik was likely poised to be a failure until he met Sindhu.
Well, funny that you should ask what my role in their relationship is. For the first probably year that they were dating, I was known as their sister wife because I was often there as a third wheel on many of their outings.
I often think about my role in Pratik and Sindhu's relationship, and I realize it probably wouldn't have ever blossomed had it not been for me and Pratik's resemblance to me. I'm just kidding. Delete all of that, please. Please.
Okay, yeah, I will.
No, you won't.
I know I will.
No, you won't.
But our advice is to just live happily and be more or less like a human being rather than Pratik and Sindhura. I think just do what naturally, normally should be done. So that's you won't feel bad. Nobody else. Don't hurt anybody's feeling, and just take care of yourself, your family, everybody that comes into your way.
My advice to both of them is to be patient with each other and say the least and listen the most, and not to get upset about little things, and give and take, and that's basically what it is, and to have a long-lasting relationship. Okay, thank you. Oh, one more thing. This is what I'll be left at the end of the wedding.